So we have a conversation today about our feelings and our feelings with regards to name it, to tame it, feel it, to heal it. There's a lot of things going on right now, and really what I'd like for us to do is to have this opportunity for a heart and soul gathering to work on something that you are feeling in the moment. And it could be a spectrum of feelings. And so what would be helpful is if you can choose something that you are currently experiencing. In other words, maybe there's a family dynamic that's going on that is creating perhaps some negative emotions going on, and that would be what you'd like to work with today. Or it could be actually joy and excitement. Maybe something has happened this past week that brings you that kind of experience where, yes, there's some possibilities here that haven't been here in the last 4 years that now we might have. So perhaps it could be that. You get to choose. So I want to give a few moments for you to choose about something that you are currently experiencing that's bringing up some emotions. And like in my text, the emotions are energy in motion. There's not anything necessarily good or bad in a sense of, say, right and wrong, that feelings are just that. There's signs, there's signals, there are opportunities for us to look at what's happening and to perhaps give us information that we may not have access to unless we are willing to feel it and let it move through us. And for those who have had experiences of where you stuff your feelings or you distract them or you negate them, it comes out sometimes sideways. Or sometimes you might develop habits to deal with those feelings that may not be the best habits for you. It could be some addictive behavior because that might be at the time that happened easier than to actually feel. So we are now maturing, we're progressing, we are evolving, and part of that evolution is really honoring what feelings do for us. And the book that I'm referring to is this one here. It's called The Secret Language of Feelings. That all feelings have a certain language, a certain thing it is speaking to us about. And even though the author doesn't go much into the positive or the well-being feelings when our needs are met, he mostly talks about what is unmet, because those are the things that trigger us. When we're feeling happy, when we're feeling joyful, when we're feeling peace, there's really nothing to work out. We're just experiencing it as that, just like woohoo, right? It's more like when we're triggered, when we're angry, when we're depressed, when we're lonely, when we're scared, when those kinds of things, right? But today you choose what you want to work on and what you want to experience for our heart and soul gathering. So what I'd like for you to do is in the chat, you don't have to tell us the situation, but if there is a situation that is happening that's bringing up some emotions, to just write what that emotion is. How is that particular experience right now that you're going through making you feel? How are you feeling about it? So take that moment, and I'm just gonna look at that in the chat as you are typing that in. What emotion are you experiencing when you think about this particular experience you're having right now? Okay? Just give you some time to do that. And thank you so much for the vulnerability for those who are writing this out for us, or for us, Doug and I, as we're facilitating and holding space for you. And again, I want to mention these feelings, that it is not a judgment. It's not about a moral judgment. It is when we feel pain and when we feel It's when we feel the pain or discomfort that we're talking about it being negative or bad. That's all. It's discomfort. It doesn't feel good. We can feel that energy doesn't feel good. And so that's when our needs are not being met. Some need is not being met. Let me give you an example from this book, all right? The example I'm going to give is a feeling of anger. The feeling of anger that comes up is generally because there is something that has happened that feels unjust or unfair. It doesn't feel right. When it doesn't feel right, it's not fair, it's unjust, there's the feeling of anger.
Help.
And so, what this author says is that anger then is a signpost, and as all the information, all the feelings are, as to what the action is. What actions can we take? And with regards to anger, he says there are basically two things. One is to make right the wrong. What seems unfair, to do what you can to make it fair, to make it right. And I'm thinking about the lady who, long time ago, whose child was killed from a drunk driver, and she used that anger to start a movement called Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, MAD, right? I'm sure you remember that. She took that emotion, that unfairness, the unjustness, the intensity of having lost her child, and focused it and funneled it to make something right that didn't feel right, by creating this movement and this awareness of drunk driving. And so that's one example, but in your own life, if there's something that you feel angry about, what can you do to make whatever feels wrong right? What can you get involved with? Who can you confront or talk to? You hear what I'm saying? It's like, that's part of it. Now, the second thing is, if there's nothing you can do about it, because sometimes there isn't anything you can do about it, then what the author says is that that's when we do our forgiveness work. It's when we have to forgive. Otherwise, we'll be angry for a very, very, very long time, until we come to the place where we can forgive whatever happened, the situation, what was done wrong, until we come to that place where we can let it go and let it be, learn from it, so we can have a life and move on and cut the cord of the past. So every negative or bad feeling has some action to go along with it. That's just one example. What I'd like for us to do, though, in this moment, is for you to look at your list and to choose a particular emotion that you'd like to work on today, that we're going to be moving that energy in our body. We're actually going to move our bodies and give some expression to this emotion through our bodies. Not only, you've named it to tame it, right? That's part of it. And then we got to feel it to heal it. And oftentimes, we don't let ourselves feel, because we have been taught, at least I have, that we shouldn't be feeling that way. Or if we feel that way, we're going to feel that way forever and ever. So we're afraid to even feel it, because we don't want to feel that negative thing forever. So we go, okay, I want to feel that forever. Let me push it somewhere down. Let me put it away. Let me drink, or let me do something different, so I don't have to feel it, because I don't like how I'm feeling. So we're actually going to give our feelings some place to go. And in this moment, we're going to allow our feelings to be part and be integrated, so that we accept it and allow it to give us the gift that it has to give us. First by feeling it, and then seeing what happens after we do that, okay? This is a little bit different, and it's in my mind how I imagined it, so we'll see what actually happens in form. So thank you so much for being willing to. We have 14 people on this beautiful Heart and Soul gathering today that are going through this process. And I just acknowledge you for being the pioneers on the path of spiritual awakening and pioneers on this path of self-development. I just so appreciate every time you come on and every time you do this work, because you do it not just for yourself, but I believe for the collective. I'm going to stand up, but you can sit down. You may eventually want to stand up, because we're going to take this feeling, this emotion. And I want to tell you, I have frustration right now. And my frustration, I'm just going to voice it, and I'm not sure if there's anybody else in the Heart and Soul Gathering that's feeling this. It just has to do with this election, and it just being not clear. Like clear. Let's just make this clear, right? So I have some frustration going on that it's just not clear. And so I'm going to use this time to work through that feeling of frustration that I'm feeling. And so first, let's just breathe together. And if you're standing like me, you know, there's a way to ground. And so however way if you're sitting, ground yourself as if there's a cord on your tailbone that's just bringing that energy down to the center of the earth. If you're standing like me, you can imagine that cord from your lower spine going down through your legs again to the center of the earth. We want to feel grounded. So let's ground ourselves right now. So now that's my practice. My invitation is ground yourself however you ground yourself. Maybe you have a practice. So this is that invitation to first ground ourselves, and let's just breathe into this moment. Bringing up whatever that emotion is. Now, there's one person on this Heart and Soul Gathering that has a joy. So bring that joy wherever, whatever. Just bring whatever emotion it is into your awareness. And as you're feeling this within your body, if there's a place in your body that is wanting some extra energy by way of touch, then I invite you to touch that part. If it's your heart, or if it's your solar plexus, or maybe it's your abdomen, or maybe you just want to give yourself a hug. Just feel into yourself to find if there's a little extra something right now that your body would like to have you hold as you're feeling this energy. Okay, good. Now you can continue to hold that part or not, but I invite you now just to move your body in an organic way. Just find out what it is your body wants to do as you're bringing up this emotion and you're feeling it into your body. What does your body naturally want to do? I'm feeling right now as I'm standing, like right now what I'm doing for whatever reason, and I'm just going with it. My body wants to do some kind of like it's almost as if I'm a pendulum and I'm going in a little bit of a circle. It's not quite a full circle, but it feels like it's around and around, and it's like clockwise for me. So I'm just going to go with it as I'm feeling my frustration. So whatever it is you're feeling, allow your body to move in however way. Now maybe it's your shoulders, or maybe it's your hips, maybe it's your head, maybe you're making circles with your head, maybe your arms. Just tune into your body right now. Just allow yourself to move as you give yourself permission to take this emotion, this energy that you are experiencing by way of your feelings, and allowing it to move in your body. Just give it some voice through movement. Is that interesting? A voice through movement, an experience through movement. If you're sitting, you can still find a way to move. If you're in the car, like Home Bashar, just whatever feels comfortable, what's right. Mad, I'm feeling mad, I'm feeling frustrated, whatever it is, just like allow it, some movement, some way to somatically get it around you. Okay, now, wherever you are and however you're doing this, I'm going to ask you to turn it up, like turn up the level a little bit. So give it a little more energy, okay? Give it a little bit more energy. Turn it up a bit. Turn it up a bit. Dial it up a bit. And as you're dialing it up and moving, breathe, breathe. Dial it up. Breathe. All right. Let that emotion flow through you. Let yourself move. Let yourself, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to take as much space as you have, okay? If you have a little bit of space, that's okay. Take up as much space that you are given. If you have a lot of space, take up as much space that you would like to take up. And move that body, move your body in a way that just is like asking to be moved right now. And breathe as you're feeling this energy. Oh, good. Beautiful. Now, is there a sound that wants to come out? Is there something that wants to be vocalized? If there is, then give yourself permission to let that energy, that emotion have sound. Frustration. What does yours sound like? Give it some energy. I have some goosebumps going on right now. My body is like going, whoa, what are you doing? Like, yeah, take it. We don't do this very often, body, so take it. What is the sound? Doug's over here doing it over here. You don't see him, he's off camera, but he's doing his own thing over here. Oh, or maybe you're laughing because you're actually experiencing some joy. Something great. Oh, if you're feeling something, just let it out. Okay, I'm going to ask you to dial it up a little bit more. I know that you're probably moving it up. So I'm going to dial it up a little bit more. Dial it up. No one is looking at you. You're only looking at me. I'm the only one right now kind of looking silly. But nobody else can see you. So just take it up. Do whatever you want to do. Now I'm going to move my body because I'm really feeling I want to take this space. I want to spin. I just want to spin it. I'm going to spin it around. I just want to spin it out. And so as you are doing whatever it is that you're doing, using your body to like work with that energy, with that emotion. Breathe. Stomp if that's what you feel like. Stomp it out. Vocalize it. Shake it out. Whatever it is, let it have its experience because it's here for you. It's here. So you might as well just fully integrate it by using your body and letting it have its experience through you, because what you get to do is as you are experiencing this thing, you get to then have the integrative experience where that then something else is available. I'm not sure what it is. We're going to find out. Ooh. Ooh, dial it. Okay, now, remember to breathe. We're going to go just down, dialing it down a little bit, dial it down a little bit, unless you still need more. If you still need more, take this time. But if you feel a little bit complete about it, or a lot of it complete about it, you can start dialing it down, your movement down. Remember, you're still grounded, and you're still breathing. Check in with yourself. Check in. Is that intensity that you first started off with? Has it shifted? Is it somewhere else in your body now that's asking for some attention? If there is, give it to that place. Dial it down a little bit more. Dialing it down. Breathe deeply. If you are ready, see if you can find some stillness now. Check in with your body. Is there a place that wants to be held? If so, hold that place, your heart, your solar plexus, your tummy. Do you want to give yourself a hug as I'm giving myself a hug? Like that? Whatever, just listen to your body. Come to stillness. Breathe deeply. And as you come to this place of stillness, offer yourself up an affirmation. What affirmation can you give yourself in this moment? How do you want to reassure yourself? How do you want to move through this time with encouragement, with hope? What would you say to yourself as a kind and loving friend? Listen. Take another deep breath in. Let it out with an audible ah. 2 more. Deep breath in. Ah. 1 more. Deep breath in. Ah. And now just gently stroke your body, your arms, your shoulders, your back, your torso, your tummy. Just give yourself some stroking movements, downward stroking movements. And as you're doing this, as you're stroking yourself down, just imagine that energy following all the way down to the core center of the earth. What I love about the earth, let me tell you about the earth. The earth takes all of this trash. It takes the compost. I have a compost, maybe you do too, or you've had one in the past. Put all this icky, junky, discarded stuff to the earth, and she knows exactly what to do with it. She knows how to take our trash, the discards, the things we no longer want or need anymore. And she knows how to transform it into energy for good. She takes that compost and she turns it into more earth. And so we just take energetically by stroking all of that down, giving it to the earth, and thanking the earth for all the things that she does on a physical and also spiritual, energetic level, and knows exactly how to transform what we give her. This is part of what she does as her gift to humanity. So take another deep breath in. Have our hands to our hearts. And I bow to you, namaste. Thank you for doing this with me, my beloved friends. Blow you a kiss.